Well, I want to thank JR for having us in here today. This is a real opportunity. I am running for Congress in the 5th District. Are there any bloggers here from the 5th District? Rick? Yeah. And Mark, isn't that it? Not Andy Saray, he's not here, right? I think I was in the race for about 3.2 seconds before I got slammed by not Andy Saray for something I'd written on my own blog. And I remember Googling my name, and I really wasn't on the web yet, so I Googled my name and it came up, oh great, and I hit the article, and it was just this huge slam piece on me. I'm thinking, what did I do to this guy? And so at that point in time I realized this is going to be a long, hard race. I've got a year to go, and so as far as the new media goes, I think back to the time in the 1700s, right before our first American Revolution, and I think to myself that, you know, back then the way that ideas were being promulgated was from the pamphleteers. Thomas Paine was a pamphleteer. Common Sense was written on a pamphlet. And they would stay on the street corners and sell their pamphlets, or they would go into the taverns, and then they would read the pamphlets out loud in the taverns over a pint, and people would discuss the different issues of the day, of the ideas of liberty and self-government and independence from England. And this is where you are. You are the modern day pamphleteers. You are out there, and it's a testament to liberty that you can, with an idea, with an ability to write, and an internet connection, you can start a blog site, and if your ideas catch on, you can get a following. But with liberty comes responsibility. And I would urge all of you to consider one of our campaign platforms, which is individual liberty. It's the #1 campaign platform because I honestly believe that this is really what we're missing in this entire national debate. We talk about health care, we talk about tax rates, we talk about whether we should drill for oil here or there. But while we're discussing and arguing with each other, they're walking out the back door with our liberties. So what my campaign has come down to is an experiment. It's an experiment in, can a focused individual with like-minded other individuals go to Washington and actually regain some of our lost liberties? And people go, well, what liberties have we lost? Which to me is a ridiculous question, but I'll answer it. In 1928, Calvin Coolidge left the White House, and the federal government took 4% of the GDP. Today, between borrowing and spending, and depending on who you talk to, it's between 28 and 33%. That's liberty, folks. That's liberty that's gone out the door. Now the question is, can it actually be done? Can you send enough people to Congress who are focused on liberty? Can we regain that liberty back? And so that's the grand experiment, I guess, in our campaign. We have three main pillars of our campaign: individual liberty, sound money, and constitutional restraint. And someone asked me the other day, well, what does that constitutional restraint mean? Where'd you get it from? I said, well, I guess I made it up because I wanted something to indicate what I thought we needed to do at the federal government level. So individual liberty, from our founding in a little over 100 years, we went from being, like every other country in the world, a loosely conglomerated group of 13 colonies in a backwater part of the world, becoming the most prosperous and powerful nation the world had ever seen in a little over 100 years. And there was one reason for that, one reason only: individual liberty. Common people being allowed to go out into the marketplace of ideas and the free market and experiment with businesses and experiment with ideas. This is what made us prosperous. If we lose individual liberty, which is what's happening right now, this Federal Reserve note, or one that looks like it was worth $1 in 1913 when they started the Federal Reserve, right there, I normally tear it, but I'm not going to do that here. That's what you get. That little corner that's missing right there, that's what you ended up with. The dollar's worth about 4 cents of what it was. The rest of it the government got. That's where that money's going. The first person that gets those inflated dollars is the one that gets the full value of it. We get less. So when you get $1 today, you go out and spend it, you're going to spend less. So we need to return back to an economy that has sound money. A sound money economy will give you a sound economy. Finally, constitutional restraint should be obvious to most of you, I think. It's the idea that we had a constitution, and when we followed the constitution, our country was healthy. People say, I hear people talking about the health care. Well, it's unconstitutional. I got bad news for you. It's not. It's not unconstitutional. It's called the General Welfare Clause. They destroyed it in 1935. The Supreme Court put a hole in the Constitution you could drive a Mack truck through. It's our job to go to Congress and fix that hole in the Constitution so that health care will be unconstitutional. Health care is not a right. Rights are non-obligatory. That means that if I require you to do something for me to appreciate my rights, it's not a right. It's a demand on someone else's personal time, their labor, and their treasure. And that is immoral. It's against the original founder's vision. So, that's our campaign platform. From the 5th District, once again, I encourage you all to keep an eye on the 5th District. It's a very interesting race. There's 6 of us running for the Republican nomination. I call it the mini 23rd. The National Republicans have kind of anointed the candidate that they want to run. It's a state senator down there. He's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. In fact, all the people in our race are nice. But here's what I say. The road to hell is paved with good intentions and nice people. So, it's important that we get the right candidate from the 5th District. I believe I'm that candidate. One thing that stands out in my race is I'm the only veteran. So I tell people, I'm the veteran. I've got the leadership experience. Thanks for your service, guys. I don't know if I'm going to run in the 2nd District, but anyway, thanks a lot for having us today, folks.
Thank you. One question?
Yes. Representative Ron Paul has an audit the Fed amendment.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be in support of the auditing of the Fed?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
But what's happening right now is, I can't remember the gentleman's name, he's from North Carolina, who has that in committee, and they've gutted all the provisions from that bill. So if it were to pass, it wouldn't really audit the Fed. What would happen if they actually do a real, thorough audit of the Federal Reserve? The people would cry out to such a great degree, I don't think it would last 3 years because of what they've been doing. So I don't think you'll see that audit until people really stand up and demand it.